Michael Gehlkin to the Dallas Morning News. Michael, great to have you here with us on ESPN 1320. As we get closer to Sunday, curious about what you think of the matchup between the Cowboys and the 49ers.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I think it's a really interesting matchup. Frankly, an interesting matchup anytime you're facing a Kyle Shanahan-led offense. I have a whole lot of respect for what he does. He's really ahead of the trend lines around the league. What they do even before the snap with the pre-snap motion, extracting as much information as they can. That's been a real focus for the Cowboys this week, is not just telling them everything about what they're about to do before a play, because the Niners are essentially asking their motion guys this way and that. So they're doing a lot of disguising as a defense from that standpoint. But then the way that the Niners offense attacks the C gap, they really stretch out a defense from a horizontal standpoint. Deebo Samuel being a big part of that. So containing things is going to be a focus for Dallas on defense. I kind of go on and on, but no, it's just a really impressive offense that Kyle Shanahan has, and obviously defensively, there's some big time personnel guys on that side of the ball.
Hey, Michael, what do you think the focus? Let's go to the offensive side of the ball for the Cowboys. What do you think the focus might be for them in trying to win this game? Is it establish the ground game, get Zeke going, and try to limit how much of the responsibility they have to put on Dak? Or is it going to be like, we look at the 49er secondary as being the weakest part of that team, let's attack those guys with CD and Amari and Cedric Wilson? How do you think they're going to go about attacking this 49ers defense?
Yeah, no, I think it's interesting. You laid it out really well. Definitely the Cowboys going into the playoffs, they've worked and talked a lot about their run game. It was phenomenal at the start of the season. Then as of October 3rd, when a right knee injury occurred for Zeke Elliott, it really tailed off for a matter of 2 months. Mm-hmm. And then over the past few weeks, as the knee's gotten better, you'll see that he'll be playing with a brace on his right knee. And Tony Pollard, he had he had a torn plantar fascia that he severed on December 2nd. And so between the two of them not really fully being 100%, they really kind of got away from things at different points along the way. But now the Cowboys feel like their run game is as operational and functional as it's been in months. So they want to get the run game going. But for what you just said, you don't want to just do something for the sake of doing it. You need to be mindful of, how you can best attack an opposing defense, the specific defense that you are facing. And so with Amari Cooper, with Dalton Schultz, you have CeeDee Lamb, you kind of go down the list of, there's a whole bevy of weapons that the Cowboys and Dak Prescott have at their disposal. So if it's too high safety, are they going to run the football? Probably. But if it's single high and the Niners are making it tough, or they're just trusting their person, there's going to be adjustments throughout the course of the game. But I don't think the Cowboys, as much as they want to run the football, they're going to beat their head against the door in order to do it. They're going to just try to have the best offense that they possibly can. And so I think you'll probably see a mixture early on, and then based on what works, that will probably be a large influence as to what follows.
Yeah, that's the run game from the Dallas Cowboys perspective. We know, the key to the San Francisco 49ers offense being effective is establishing Elijah Mitchell, Deebo Samuel, their run game. We also know, and this is something, Michael, we've talked a lot about over the last few days, how scary the Dallas pass rush can be. Does the fact that, does that automatically, the fact that the 49ers are such a run-first team, does that take away one of the best assets that the Cowboys have in their pass rush?
If they don't stop the run, it will. I think the Cowboys the way that they're viewing it is they need to be stout on first and second down. They want those third and long situations. They want to put Jimmy Garoppolo, make him beat them while they've got Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence and Randy Gregory and company coming after them. They trust their chances, not necessarily because it's being personal about the quarterback, but just based on how they feel about their pass rush and their players. So they need to create as many of those opportunities as they can. And so absolutely on early downs, that's the Cowboys' focus, is stop the run, hold firm when it comes to outside contain, set your edges, do your job, tackle well. That's a lot of the mantra that's going on inside the building from Dan Quinn, defensive coordinator here, and his coaching staff.
Michael, if you could pick one guy that you think is going to have a big game and maybe be a game changer in this game to lead either team to victory, who would that be? For example, I think George Kittle is going to have a big game on Sunday. We haven't seen him too much in the passing game in recent weeks, but I think they're going to lean heavy on him, and there's going to be opportunities for him in that passing game. I think he's going to show up and have a big game. Who would you say in this game, Michael, is going to play big?
Yeah, Kittle's a great choice. He's one of my favorite players in football, just out of respect for all that he does, how balanced and well-rounded he is. I'm going to say to get a Cowboys player on that, because I think he's a player that 49ers fans who might be listening need to know about. It's Micah Parsons. And you probably know enough about him where he's a rookie first-round draft pick out of Penn State. He sat out the entire 2020 junior season, opting it out, and has been sensational this year. Not only will he be AP Defensive Rookie of the Year, probably won't win AP Defensive Player of the Year, but you could make the case that he deserves it. Again, TJ Watt, 22 and a half sacks for playoff bounce dealers, that'll do the trick. But the way that Parsons has looked, not just at inside linebacker, but he's got the versatility to go and follow your running back into the nickel or boundary corner spot. He's got the ability to be a full-time defensive end. We saw that week 2, week 3, and even later in the season where that was his only position for the full course of the game. He's got more pressures than TJ Watt, and he's got more than 100 fewer pass rush attempts. So he's a highly, highly efficient at getting after the quarterback. He's physical in the run game. You're talking about setting the edge, his speed. He's he's a sub 4.4 guy, and I haven't seen him be beaten to the corner all season. He hasn't allowed a touchdown in 35 targets in the passing game. So he's just kind of a jack of all trades, does it all. He's a game wrecker. So he's number 11 is the number that you have to watch. He's capable of damn near playing 11 different positions on the field.
Yeah, we drew the comparisons between Michael Parsons and Deebo Samuel and how Deebo has done so much on the offensive end for the San Francisco 49ers. Meanwhile, Michael Parsons has played linebacker, cornerback, and safety for the Dallas Cowboys defense at various points this season.
That's crazy.
Yeah, if you wanted to have fun, very last play of week 1, the Cowboys lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He was a center on offense with Vita Vea shaded over. I think it was in the zero technique, just had nose up with him. So Michael Parsons, the linebacker, against Vita Vea while doing the snap of a trick back. So yeah, he got done it all. And he wants to be the kicker returner. He wants to be the punt returner. He thinks he could be the backup kicker, kickoff team. And some of these things you're like, yeah, he probably could do. He was an all-state running back at Harrisburg High School.
Jeez, just a freak. Just an absolute freak. Michael, have a little fun here with this one. Big topic of discussion last Sunday, Monday, and, following was what the 49er fans did at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles and how they turned that place out and turned it red. I know we have the 13 matchup or whatever, where, the Niners took over Jerry's World. I don't think that happens at all in this playoff game. That week 1 matchup was the perfect storm for fans to travel and all this other stuff. But there has been concern, at least on Twitter, of different Cowboy fans' websites say, hey, do not sell the 49er fans. Be aware. Do you think we see anything close to some type of 49er fan takeover on Sunday?
Takeover is a strong word. No, I don't think we're going to see a takeover, but we're really hitting on something I don't know if you fully appreciate. Like, there's something that goes beyond football when you talk about Californians in Texas. And I'm saying this as someone who grew up in San Diego, covered the Raiders. So I lived in Oakland for a while. So I'm from the San Diego and the Bay. And when I, as someone who's now living here for the past couple of years covering the Cowboys, people are like, "Oh, where are you from?" I'm like, "Oh, you're not going to like the answer." Like, "Oh, you're from California, aren't you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I am." Californians have been moving out to Texas in droves, and we, are taking the real estate market and just inflating it. You get so much more for your money here, and so it's just, we people are worried about our politics. For Californians are turning our state blue. Now what? They're going to turn our stadiums red. So that's something it's very real here. So it's a sensitive subject you guys are hitting on, but I don't think it'll be a takeover. All that said.
That's awesome, Michael. I'm a fan from back when you were covering the Raiders, man. Thanks for jumping on with us. It's going to be a fun one this weekend. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Take care, man.
All right.